everyone, welcome back to my channel. I've been seeing a video trending on YouTube in the beauty community called something along the lines of if I could only keep 10 palettes. And I got thinking, some people don't even have 10 palettes. I mean, I have more than 10 palettes, but I know a lot of people don't. For the average person, and for a rational person, they really don't have that many. So I'm thinking, people are struggling to think of only keeping 10 palettes. And I thought, I'm not a huge beauty influencer or anything. 10 palettes? I could do that. I could narrow it down to 10 palettes. But I had a hard time narrowing it down to 5. So today's video, I'm going to talk about if I could only keep 5 palettes, what would they be? I don't really know if I have a order of which one I would have to keep if I could only keep one, because that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about if I could only keep 5 palettes. So let's jump into the video and talk about what 5 palettes I would keep if I could only keep 5. So the first one I want to talk about is the Colourpop Going Coconuts palette. I'm a soft glam, neutrals, natural makeup girl. I do appreciate my cut creases, but at the end of the day, I like natural, like supermodel-esque makeup and like soft glam. Think like bridal makeup or a little bit more glam. I don't really do super colorful cut creases and bright looks very often. So most of these are neutral palettes. This is the most neutral palette I have here. And the reason I say that I have to keep this if I have to get rid of all of my palettes is for this specific shade right here, the Coco. If I could have this as a single shadow, I don't know that this palette would be in here. I love this palette a lot. It's one of my favorites. But this shade was a make or break when I was thinking about if I could only keep 5 palettes. I need to have this shade in my collection. Ever since I got my hands on this shade, I cannot have it not in my collection. It's what I'm wearing on my lids today. I filmed a tutorial. I don't know if it's going to be up before or after this video, but this shade, as long as I am able to wear makeup, as long as I am keeping makeup, any makeup at all, even if I had to minimize my collection, I need that shade in my collection. So, this palette is a must for me. The next palette that I have to have in my collection at all times is the Natasha Denona Metropolis palette. This palette is very me, especially in the fall. It has some bronzes, some greens, some golds. You got your neutrals, you got your pops of color. And this palette has a very creamy formula. It has Natasha Denona's cream to powder formula in here for some of the shadows, which I really enjoy. And also, if I had to get rid of a lot of makeup, I'm keeping my Natasha Denona palettes because I spent too much money on them to get rid of them, and I will not be getting rid of them. I am going to be using these as long as I can until they're crumbling and falling apart. With that being said, I have one more Natasha Denona palette in my collection. Well, I have one more full size. I have a mini one my friend got me as a gift, but I'm choosing this full size because, like I said, I love Natasha Denona's formula, and I splurged way too much on these when I probably shouldn't have, so I'm not getting rid of them. Also, I love this one for every day. If I only got to pick one palette, a neutral palette, it might be this one. But I'm not only picking one palette, I'm picking the 5. However, I love this palette a lot. The formula is great. And what sets this apart is, like I said, the formula. Natasha Denona is amazing. Huge splurge, but like I said, I'm not getting rid of any Natasha Denona palettes if I was asked to get rid of my makeup. But this shade, Spot, this black eyeshadow is that cream to powder formula. And it is the best black eyeshadow. I love everything about this palette. I love the neutral tones. It is called the Biba All Neutral palette. Natasha Denona Biba All Neutral palette. I love the neutral tones in it. I'm not really a warm toned makeup girl really anymore. I like neutrals. A lot of the time I will reach for neutrals. But the one thing that sets this apart, other than the formula, other than the fact that it's Natasha Denona, is that specific black eyeshadow. You can use it as an eyeliner, you can use it as a base all over the eye for a smoky eye. You can use it for so many things. So I'm picking this as one of my 5 palettes if I could only keep 5 palettes. This next palette is something that was very limited edition. I'm not sure if they're restocking it, so I'm sorry that I'm mentioning this if you didn't get your hands on it. I used it on a recent tutorial, and it is the Colourpop Sailor Moon palette. Like I said in my tutorial with this, cutest packaging ever. Like, really, how cute is this? But I really like Colourpop's formula. They are one of my favorite brands. And I don't really wear a lot of colorful makeup, like I said. But if I have to use brighter colors, these are the kinds of colors I reach for. Yellows and pinks and purples. I have blues in those other palettes. So I don't really need another palette with blues. So if I needed to keep one colorful palette, it would probably be this one, because this is just very me. These are the kind of pops of colors that I like. The number one, like, color, not a neutral, that I need to have on me is greens. It's not in that palette, but I have greens in the Natasha Denona Metropolis palette, and the best olive green shimmery eyeshadow is in this next palette I'm about to talk about, so it's fine that the Sailor Moon palette doesn't have that. However, the last palette, last but not least, not my number one, no particular order here, but this palette is something that was limited edition, but I think they still have it in stock. It was supposed to be limited edition, but they made more of it. I don't know if they're discontinuing it or not. If you can still get your hands on it, go check it out at Ulta or Dose of Colors. It is the Dose of Colors Desi x Katy Friendcation palette. And if anyone knows me, Desi and Katy are 2 of my favorite beauty influencers, beauty YouTubers, whatever you want to call them. I love their content. I've been watching them for years. My best friend Joanne and I always say, oh, you're the Desi to my Katy, you're the Katy to my Desi. They're friendship goals. They're so funny, and I just really enjoy their content. They're huge inspirations to the content I've been pushing out. But I love this palette, not just because I'm a huge fan of them, but specifically, if I had to keep only 5 palettes, I am keeping this shade right here. This olive green called Dirty Money. I haven't really been swatching things in this video, but I'm going to swatch this because if you haven't seen this palette, you need to see this. Look at that. It's so perfectly like foiled and reflective, and it is just the perfect olive green eyeshadow. And olive green is one of my favorites to wear over the eye. I tend to gravitate towards, if I'm doing a smoky eye, a bronze, a gunmetal, or an olive green. Other than that, this is overall a great palette. And then this shade right here, Just a Kiss, is so nice for a natural but eye-catching little shimmer moment on the lids. If you just want to put some bronzer in the crease and pop that on the lids, or if you're just doing like liner and lashes, inner corner and brow bone highlight, it is so nice for that. That's why it's called Just a Kiss, because it's just a kiss of shimmer, and it is such a beautiful shade as well. I'm not going to swatch that because I haven't really been doing swatches in this video. So that concludes if I could only keep 5 palettes in my collection. I'm not going to keep only 5 palettes in my collection because I love makeup, I like to collect makeup, and I have a problem. I'm trying to stop buying so many makeup palettes, but if I could only keep 5, it would be those 5. Let me know in the comments down below if you think you could narrow your collection down to just 5 eyeshadow palettes, or if you think you can narrow it down to just 1 eyeshadow palette, because then You're a lot more rational than me, and I could never do that. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you all next time. If you haven't liked this video, go ahead and do this right now, please. You'd be helping me out a lot. And subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Bye! I'll see you guys all next time.